Hello everyone. Today we'll be studying the unit 5th of our lecture, which comprises of two parts, KCC and lead bank scheme. I am Dr. Sanjay, your instructor for your course AG Con 201, Agricultural Finance and Cooperation. So let's begin. Uh, there are two parts in this, broadly two parts. One is KCC, a new introduction that is called as Pursue KCC. Second part is lead bank scheme and some suggested readings for furthering your understanding. So what is KCC? Kisan Credit Card. Credit, as you know, is a loan, and it is simply a card, or you can say debit card or ATM card that you have in your pockets. It is a loan that is given to the farmers. What type of farmers we'll be discussing later. This scheme, why do we need this scheme? First of all, why do we need a credit card? Because an average family, a farming family in India has this much of income. This is the average for throughout the country. This much, only 20,000. So how much can it save for itself, and how much can it use for producing crops by using new methods, that is buying new seeds, new kinds of technology, adopting new kinds of technology? It cannot. It seriously cannot. That's why we need to give him credit, so that he can produce crops by using the latest technology and by using his resources in the best possible way. This scheme was started in 1998. The objective was to provide credit to cover the running costs. What are the running costs? It has inputs. That may be fertilizers and agrochemicals of different types. Agrochemicals, weedicides, fungicides, anything else you can name out. Labor of different types, machinery, animal or human labor, post-harvest charges that might include can say transportation, land preparation in the beginning, okay, and any kind of charges, any type he needs to can say spend on in order to produce crops. Okay, running costs, you can say, which he needs to incur again and again for producing crops. Why is this scheme so famous? Herein the loan is provided at 7% rate of interest, simply, and there is a 3% interest subvention, that is a 3% rebate for people who repay the loan on time. This scheme is valid only up to 3 lakh rupees. If you are taking a loan of only 3 lakh rupees, you have to pay 7%, out of which 3% will be paid by the government, which is called as interest subvention. So actually you will be paying only 4% rate of interest. So on a loan of 3 lakh rupees, how much interest you will be paying? You'll have to repay after an year 3 lakh 12,000 rupees only. That's only 12,000 rupees. This is the cheapest loan you can get anywhere in the country, cheapest and the best possible loan for the farmers. Okay, so actual rate of interest was 7, 3% rebate for people who repay on time. So the final burden of interest on the farmer is only of 4% rupees. But let's say if you are taking a loan of 5 lakh rupees, on the 3 lakh rupees you will have to pay only 4%, and above, on the remaining 2 lakh rupees, you have to pay interest of 8 to 12%. This varies from bank to bank, okay, according to their objectives. How is this loan amount decided? Loan amount is decided based on two things. What kind of crops you have. Let's say you are having 1 acre of land, okay, and you are cultivating paddy in the summer and wheat in the winter. The cost of producing paddy is 25,000 rupees, and the cost of inputs that are required to produce paddy in 1 acre is 25,000 rupees, and for wheat it is 20,000 rupees. This thing varies from district to district. Alright, so how much money do you need to buy inputs to produce crop in 1 acre of your land? Alright, this is the amount you require, 45,000 rupees. Okay, so the loan amount is decided upon the crop acreage, how much area of crops do you have, and scale of finance. This is the scale of finance. Scale of finance, that means the money that you need to produce the crop. Okay, so here again it is written, scale of finance is decided according to the cost of cultivation, varies from district to district. Cost of production, sorry. or you can say no, it will be written as cost of cultivation. Cost of cultivation is per acre and cost of production is per quintal. So here we will be using cost of cultivation. Please don't study this thing. This scale of finance is decided according to the cost of cultivation. What are the parts of cost of cultivation that make up scale of finance? We'll be discussing in the coming lectures. You simply need to remember what kind of crops and how much money each crop takes to be grown. Okay, and which type of banks do provide KCC? All types of banks. That means commercial, cooperative, and RRB. Commercial also of public sector banks like SBI, PNB, and some other banks, and private HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, all the types of private banks that try to provide KCC. Okay, and what is the security? So this is where it gets interesting. There is a discretion of the banks here. Some banks will ask for a mortgage. Mortgage, that means you have to give them the papers of your land. Okay, some banks might also ask, in addition to mortgage, a guarantor. Okay, some banks might go for a collateral. Sorry, collateral is when you give them the papers of a moving property like car, maybe a vehicle, maybe machinery, tractor. Mortgage, when you give them the papers of land. Okay, guarantor is a person who the bank will ask you to bring in a person who is a customer of their bank, that will guarantee that this borrower, that is you are the borrower, you are bringing in the guarantor, that you will be repaying the loan on time, otherwise I am responsible. So this is how he is guaranteeing the repayment. Mortgage, as I told you, there are two different types of mortgage: simple mortgage and equitable mortgage. If you don't remember, please go and refer to the second unit, classification of agricultural credit. Therein you can find what is mortgage, simple and equitable. For simply the sake of understanding what security do banks take, it is up to their discretion. Okay, up to the loans of 1 lakh rupees, no security is needed, but banks generally do not give loans without security. Generally, this thing varies from bank to bank. Okay, more than 1 lakh rupees, banks do take security. What types of security? I said you, collateral. According to the size of the loan, they will take a security. Okay, if the loan size is small, they will take a smaller security. If the loan size is big, they will take a larger security. The security whose value is much higher. Okay, who can take this loan? Owner of the land. Let's say you are a farmer, you own that land, you can take it. Tenant, you can say आपने ठेके पे लिया ज़मीन, you are a tenant of that farmer, you are cultivating the crop for 1 year only, you can take loan. Sharecroppers. Sharecropper simply means some of your families might have an arrangement of, let's say you guys have some other family who is cultivating your land on a 50-50 basis. What I mean is 50-50 is you both families will share the cost of production, but the other family is providing the labor, let's say supervision and everything. They are cultivating, you are just sharing the cost of production. You are sharing the some inputs that are to be bought from the market, let's say fertilizer, agrochemicals. You are providing with them, they are putting in the labor, and you are producing the crop. So those people are called as sharecroppers. In Hindi or in the local language, they are called as Siri. The people who among you who know Haryanvi, they'll easily understand this thing. Siri means let's say seer mein kheti karna, that is cultivating crops together. The owner buys inputs and the other family, they provide the manpower and also contribute to buying inputs. How the loan is disbursed? Once you have been sanctioned a KCC, how are you going to get the money? According to the guidelines, the money should be provided in phased manner. It should be provided in installments. It should not be given to the farmer at once. Let's say you have taken a loan of 3 lakh rupees you are supposed to be provided that 3 lakh rupees within a period of 6 months. But what some banks do is they will give you 3 lakh rupees at the very moment. You can take you can take that 3 lakh rupees out in one day, but it should not be done. It should be given in phases. Let's say 50,000 this month, 50,000 next month, 50,000 next month, within 6 months. Okay, or it can be decided by the bank. If you don't provide that money in phases, what happens is farmer has such a cheap money, that is, cheap money means only he is paying 12,000 rupees interest on that 3 lakh rupees. He can actually divert that credit. Divert means instead of farming he will use it somewhere else. And this is a practical example, this is a reality and which is happening because the banks are not providing the money in phased manner. Farmers are using it for other purposes. That might be for lending, that might be for consumption, that might be for marriage, for hospital charges, for anything. Okay, so this is most about can say all about KCC, when it was started, what are the objectives, why it was started, what are the benefits, which crops are covered. Sorry, I left this part. Crops covered, notified crops of the area, that means the major crops that are cultivated in that area. Okay, it varies from district to district. Loan amount is, there is no limit to the loan amount, but it is calculated in this way: acreage into scale of finance. What is scale of finance? It is essentially the cost of cultivation of each of the crop. It is decided based on some studies, scientific studies. What are the sources? What is security for taking KCC? Who are the beneficiaries and how it should be disclosed? Most of the things have been discussed. I think this much of information is enough for you about KCC. So let's see what is the progress of KCC in all these years. I don't have the data of let's say starting from what is happening here. I don't have the data from you can say 1998 up to the current one, but from 2007 to 2018, the target that was set by the government of providing credit KCC to the farmer and the actual, so you can see the actual one is always high. Banks are providing more amount of credit than required, than targeted. Okay, they are actively participating. In the year 2018-19, you can see 11.5 lakh crore was targeted, and more than it has been provided. Okay, more than this. It keeps on rising year after year. You can see an increasing trend here. In the starting 2007, it was just 2 lakh crores. Now it is 11.5 lakh crores. In 2018, right now it is around 13 lakh crores that has been targeted for the year 2020-21. Okay. Next comes Pashu Kisan Credit Card. This is a very new addition to the KCC. Earlier KCC was given only for raising crops, for covering the recurring expenditure for raising crops. Now it has been given for covering running costs of raising for animal husbandry and aquaculture. In animal husbandry, there is buffalo, for raising buffalo, cow, sheep, goat, layer, that is egg laying, when you are raising chicks for laying egg, and broiler farming, when you are rearing chicks for selling them as meat. Okay, cows of different breeds, that might be HF or can say crossbred or indigenous or Jersey, any type of cow. Buffaloes also of different types. Okay, in aquaculture there are fish of different varieties and plus shrimp. Okay, so what are the important feature of this KCC? First, you have to remember is running cost. It is not for starting a new business. It is for covering the running cost of the existing business. Okay, for the existing only. Loan amount, there is no limit, just like the loan amount that was calculated for crops. There is similar method. scale of finance has been fixed for all these things, for raising a buffalo, for a cow, for a sheep, which we'll be discussing in the next slide. Okay, how the loan amount is calculated for different types of these enterprises. Okay, and security, up if you're taking a loan of up to 1.6 lakh, you don't need to provide any security. This is a very strict ruling this time. All of the banks are not taking any kind of security. If you are taking a loan above 1.6 lakh, then it is up to a bank. They can ask for hypothecation also, and mortgage also, collateral also. Hypothecation, for your, you can say, information, I am trying to tell you again, hypothecation is of two types, key and open. For the purpose of this Pashu KCC, the hypothecation is open type, I think. If I am wrong, please correct me, or please refer to the second lecture, wherein the possession remains with the farmer, possession of the buffalo. Let's say you are taking a loan for the buffalo, you have to hypothecate the buffalo to the bank. That means the possession of that buffalo will remain with you, but the actual owner of that buffalo will be the bank. You are not allowed to sell that buffalo without repaying the loan. Okay, but farmers do find ways around this thing. Rate of interest up to 2 lakh, again there is a 3% interest subvention. Okay, that means up to 2 lakh you will have to pay 7% rate of interest. If you are repaying the loan on time, within the repayment period, within 1 year you are repaying the money to the bank, then you get 3% rate of interest subvention, and the actual rate of interest you will have to pay is only 4%. That means on rupees 2 lakh, if you are repaying the loan on time, you will have to pay only 8,000 rupees of interest. It is very cheap money. And above 2 lakh, it is on the bank's discretion. It varies from bank to bank how much interest they want to charge. For PNB, it is 8.75%. This is how much I know. There is a proper note. There is a difference between the guidelines and actual practice. I have read the guidelines for making this PPT, and I have also talked to a banker who was my classmate about this KCC. So there was a huge difference that I found in the guidelines and the practice. That's why this range came in. Okay, that's why this thing came in. Otherwise the guidelines were different, and the content that I had added earlier to the slides were different. But after talking to the banker and getting the latest information, I had to change some things, and that's why what you are getting is the latest information, and this thing in particular, and also this thing in particular. What kind of security banks can take? Banks are varying according to their own interest, and what rate of interest they are charging about 2 lakhs. This is also up to them. We will also be seeing some other differences that I found in the guidelines and in the practices in the later slides. Okay, so this is a major part about KCC, Pashu KCC, running costs of animal husbandry and aquaculture, important features for already established businesses, loan amount, there is loan limit, security, no security up to 1.6 lakh, and above 1.6 lakh there is a bank's discretion. Rate of interest 3% subvention up to rupees 2 lakh, and can say above 2 lakhs if you are taking loan, same 8 to 12%. On the first 2 lakh you will have to pay only 4% if you are repaying on time, and above it you will have to pay 8 to 12%. That is as the earlier example, as per the earlier. This point is important here that I missed. Phased disbursement. In case of PKCC, it is followed. In case of KCC, it was not being followed, but in case of PKCC, it is being followed. We'll be discussing it later in the coming slides so that you will be able to understand along with the examples. Okay. So, next one. First part of PKCC, animal husbandry. What things come in it? Cows, buffaloes, sheep, goat, pig, I forgot, layers, that is egg laying chicken, broiler. The broiler is for meat purposes, and layer is for laying eggs only. The life cycle is 72 weeks, life cycle is 2 months. So what are the recurring expenses or operational, you can say, expenses that are to be covered by PKCC? These studies are supposed to be made first. Okay, these studies are made first by scientific people. Let's say we are also interested with these duties of for finding out the expenses, so that the loan amount can be fixed per cow. A cow needs this much of expenditure for feed throughout the year, for labor, for water, for veterinary, for subsidized insurance, that is by Haryana government. Veterinary aid is for 2400 rupees it requires, for vaccination, for let's say some illnesses or some other charges, miscellaneous expenditure. This is not chicks, and that is buying small chicks. This is not included in rearing cow, it is included here directly. Okay, so this much of expenditure has been made on a cow in 1 year, or you can say in one cycle. One cycle of a cow is 9 months plus 9 days of gestation period plus 3 months dry period. Okay, so for this period of 12 months and 9 days, this much was the running cost. But the scale of finance is fixed on 6-month basis. Actually 12 months 9 days, half 6-month basis. Okay, if you half 81,565 is 40,783. This is the scale of finance that has been fixed per animal. In this case, a cow. A farmer who is having one cow can get a loan of 40,783 rupees, and he has to repay that money along with the interest in 1 year. And if he repays that money in the repayment within the repayment period, he will have to pay only 4% rate of interest. Okay, for buffalo same thing is 1,03,285. For buffalo the cycle was 10 months plus 10 days of gestation period, and it was, I think, it was 4 months of dry period. So it was essentially for 14 months plus 10 days. Okay, half of it has been done, and for fixing the scale of finance, 7 months has been considered. If we make half of 1,03,000, that is 60,249. This 1,03,000 was expenditure for 14 months and 10 days. Okay, but scale of finance has been fixed for 7 months only, for half of the period, for half of the cycle. 60,000. A farmer who has a buffalo can take this amount of loan, has to repay within 1 year. Similarly, for one sheep, this is the annual expenditure, and in case of fixing scale of finance for a sheep, 1 year has been considered. That means this complete amount has been provided. This amount, the remaining amount in case of a cow and a buffalo, has to be borne by the farmer himself. Okay, a bank will not provide all the money that is required to raise a buffalo or a cow. The farmer also has to invest some money, save some money out of his earning, and bear some pain, save some money and invest in raising a buffalo or a cow. Okay, but for sheep or goat, all the money has been sanctioned by the bank. In case of pig also, all of the money, that is 16,000 rupees of recurring expenditure, has been sanctioned by the bank for fixing scale of finance. For layer, it is the expenditure only 720 rupees. Layer only one chicken. Okay, this much is the expenditure for raising a layer, egg laying chicken, and this much is the expenditure for raising a broiler. It is actually raised in 3 months, but the loan is provided for a period of 1 year. Alright, so in total, this much of money a farmer can take per cow, this much of money per buffalo, this much of money per sheep or goat, this much per pig, this much per layer, this much per broiler, and he has to repay this money within 1 year. Okay, how much money can he take? He can take any amount of loan. Okay, but up to 2 lakh rupees, if he is taking a loan up to 2 lakh rupees, he will have to pay 4% rate of interest if he is paying on time. And if he is taking more than 2 lakh rupees loan, then up to 2 lakh he will be paying 4%, plus the remaining amount he will be paying 8 to 12%. That varies from bank to bank. Alright, so this is the repayment period is an important thing. Scale of finance is an important thing. How is it scale of finance is fixed? It is fixed based on the calculations made by scientists, that this much of expenditure is needed for feed, labor, water, electricity, veterinary, subsidized insurance, miscellaneous. This much of expenditure is incurred in raising a cow, buffalo, sheep, goat, pig, layer, broiler, etc. Okay, these are the important points. Scale of finance, repayment period, and how much amount of loan, any amount, what are the rate of interest. Alright, disbursement here is done in phases. Scale of finance is for 6 months for a cow. So this amount of 40,000 rupees, 40,000, let's say it is 40,000, will be divided by 6, and each month he will be given only this amount. Let's say it's 6,500 rupees each month. Okay, he will be given the money in phases, 6,500 each month. 1 2 3 4 5 plus 6,500. He will be given money each month. Each month this much of money will be deposited in the farmer's account by the bank, and he can take it out from an ATM or anywhere else. For buffalo there will be 7 installments. For sheep or goat there will be 12 installments. Same is for pig, 12 installments. For layer, 12 installments. For broiler, 12 installments. Okay, and repayment is annual for all the cases. Now talking about fish, these are again the operational cost calculated by scientists for a unit of fish, that is 2.5 hectare fish pond is there, which is having 8,000 fish fingerlings, means fish babies, which you are raising for selling in the end. This is the rate of each of the thing: lime, cow dung, urea, superphosphate, fish that you are going to buy, feed, medicine, labor, any other expenses, how much you will be needing of them in a farm of 2.5 acre. Okay, and what is the rate for each of them? Please forget this LS. Okay, and how much will be incurred, how much expenditure will be incurred on the individual items. So in total, for raising a unit of fish in 2.5 acre of area, you have to spend 1.5 lakh rupees. 1.5 lakh rupees. Okay, then the scale of finance, again it is simple. Up to 2 lakh you have to pay 4% rate of interest. If you are paying on time, that is you are paying prompt repayment. Okay, more than 2 lakh, 8 to 12% rate of interest. More than 2 lakh, let's say it is 3 lakh, on the first 2 lakh you will have to pay 4%. On the remaining 1 lakh you will have to pay 8 to 12%. This 4% only when you are repaying on time. Otherwise you will have to repay this. Otherwise, if you are defaulting, if you are not repaying on time, the bank can charge you up to 8 to 12%. Okay, there is a penalty for it, which varies from bank to bank. Repayment period is again 1 year. Okay, this was for fish. What are the fish species that are covered in this scheme in Haryana? Rohu, Katla, Mirgal, Silver Carp, Common Carp, and Grass Carp. The cycle for each of them is for 8 to 12 months. This is some additional data, that is how much of the fish is let's say is raised in a 2.5 acre farm. Densities and density, survival, average weight, how much output can you get in terms of money from these fishes in a farm of a standard size. Okay, this all the information has been taken, written again, document from manager PNB Karnal. Again, second part of aquaculture, that is white shrimp. You can also call it as, in Hindi you call it as jhinga machli. Okay, look for it. Its photograph on the net, and I think you will remember. See, for in case of white shrimp, there was a problem in the data. That's why I was saying there is a difference between the guidelines and actual practice. In the guidelines, I have taken this thing from the guidelines. Okay. In the guidelines, there were two types of studies that were made: State Department and Blue Revolution scheme of Government of India. Government of India says the cost of raising white shrimp in 2.5 acres is 3.3 lakh rupees. Okay, these are running cost. And according to State Department of Haryana, the cost is 10 lakh rupees. So what should the banks do? Should the banks give loan of rupees 10 lakh or 3 lakh for raising for a farmer who is raising white shrimp in 2.5 acre of land? This was left to the bank to decide, and what the banks have decided is the same: up to 2 lakh rupees 4%, up more than 2 lakh rupees 8 to 12%. That varies from bank to bank. Okay, so this was guidelines, and this is in practice. What is the repayment period? 1 year. Alright, so this was all about KCC and PKCC. KCC is for covering the running cost of raising crops, and PKCC is for animal husbandry and aquaculture. Okay, now coming to the second part, lead bank scheme. What does this term mean? We'll be understanding it, how it, by knowing how it originated, the genesis of lead bank scheme. In 1969, Professor D.R. Gadgil was given the charge of studying the condition of agricultural credit in the country, and the group that was made was known as Gadgil Study Group. What his findings were that commercial banks which are both public and private, like PNB, SBI, these are just examples, there are many more banks, they had inadequate presence in the villages. They had very less number of branches, and they also lacked rural orientation. They did not lend money to the rural people, okay, to the farmers, to the artisans, to the people who are running small businesses in the rural areas. And what it recommended, what this study group recommended, was area approach. What is this approach? We will be knowing later on. Then again in 1969, one more committee was made, Nariman Committee, under the chairmanship of Shri F.K.F. Nariman. They also endorsed, finding the can say problems in the existing system, they also endorsed area approach. What is this area approach? This area approach and lead bank is, can say, related term, wherein each bank should concentrate on certain districts where it should act as a lead bank. One bank should concentrate on few districts, and in these districts it will be acting as a lead bank. The biggest bank in the area, will be a lead bank. Okay, why it needs to lead, and who is it going to lead? Simply it means is, for a particular area, let's say for one district, there will be a biggest bank that needs to lead and act as a lead bank. This whole scheme was called as lead bank scheme. And why is it going to lead? We'll be discussing in the next slide. Why do we need a bank to lead all the other banks and all the government institutions? Based on the recommendations, lead bank scheme was introduced by RBI, Reserve Bank of India, in December 1969. Okay, wherein a particular bank, that is the largest bank of the area, is assigned with the duty of lead bank of the district. Okay, what is its mandate, or you can say what is its objective, what it needs to do? Overall development of the rural sector, especially rural and semi-urban. These were the findings, that these commercial banks were not focusing on rural and semi-urban areas, they were only focusing on urban areas. So this scheme was launched so that rural and semi-urban areas also develop. How it is going to develop these things? How is the lead bank going to do this? It is going to do this by coordinating efforts of all the banks, all types of banks, RRBs, cooperatives, private banks, public sector banks, okay, all types of banks, and government departments. That might be agriculture department, that might be horticultural department, that might be you can say different departments. Let's say canal department related to the which is related to the agriculture. All the departments that are related to the agricultural field, and MSME, micro, small, and medium enterprises. The enterprises mean small businesses, micro, small, and medium businesses. These are according to the turnover, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Businesses who are having a turnover up to, let's say, 5 lakh rupees a year, 25 lakh rupees a year, 1 crore rupees a year. Turnover means output produced into price at which it is sold, that is the gross return you said. This is called as turnover. Okay, this is how it is called, classified, MSME. So by coordinating the working of all the banks and government departments, they have to can say develop the rural and semi-urban areas. How do they do it? By conducting meeting at different levels: block level, district level, state level. They have different committees for it, for conducting meetings at different level. And by focusing on branch expansion, by focusing on deposit mobilization, means encouraging the rural people to open accounts and save money. This money is later on used by the bank to lend further to the people who need money. Okay, this is called as deposit mobilization. Lending to the priority sector, I have already told you what are the priority sectors: agriculture, education, housing, and MSME sector. Okay, and making and implementing credit plans. See, these meetings at block level, district level, state levels, they will make credit plan according to the need of the area. Let's say a area has a potential of can say raising milk production, because they have a very good quality, good variety of buffalo. So this credit plan will focus on giving loans for raising buffaloes. Okay, so more and more people will be coming for taking loan for raising buffaloes, and milk production will go up. If milk production is going to go up, then people are going to earn money and rural areas are going to grow. Okay, this is just an example, focusing on area according to its need. How is it done? It is done by making meetings at different levels with different people. Okay, these do not only include banks, government departments, they also include invitees. Let's say invitees can be farmers, prominent farmers, they can be researchers, any person who is felt that he can provide some important input for making the rural, for developing in the development of rural areas, then he will be invited to those meetings. Next, what is the structure at state level? That is, state level banking committee is there, district consultative committee is there, and block level banking committee is there. So meetings are held at different level with different participants, and plans are made first at block level, then compiled at district level, then compiled at state level, and then common plans are implemented. Okay, what best fits according to different discussions is implemented. What are the lead banks? Which banks are leading the districts in Haryana district? This is latest data for 2020. I took it from this source. You can also go to the source and look for the information yourself. For all the districts, for all these districts, you can see The bank is PNB. PNB is the leading bank. Okay, and for these districts, Gurgaon, Faridabad, and this was Mewat. It is Canara Bank. Okay, and this is OBC. This was Palwal OBC, but now OBC has been merged into PNB. So this is also under PNB. So all the districts except these three are under PNB Bank. Okay. Now, is there anything remaining? No. Our lecture is finished. So let's re-summarize KCC, PKCC, and lead bank scheme. KCC for crops, for crop raising expenditure for animals plus aquaculture. Lead bank scheme, largest bank in district, leading all for rural development. Okay, main thing here you have to remember is loan amounts, repayment periods, okay, and also scale of finance. Here also scale of finance, rate of interest, repayment period. Please focus on these things, okay, and you will be good to go. If you are going, if you need some more information on lead bank scheme, you can refer to this link. And if you need some more information how this lead bank scheme committees, how do they work, what is the composition, how who are in these different committees, that is state level banking committee, district consultative committee, and block level banking committee, who are the members and how does it work. So you need to refer to this link. You will get a file which has all the information. Okay, so thank you. I think you will be getting a lot of information from this very slide, this very PowerPoint presentation. It has I have worked for including the latest information possible on this subject. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day. I hope you enjoyed it, or you will enjoy it. Thank you.